People who have combed out their locks, or they started them for other reasons different than I did. At any time, feel free to pause the video. So I got to see my locks kind of blossom like a flower or like any other type of cute plant. And that made me more confident, like what's on the inside. Dag, is this bird trying to talk to me? Hey, hey. I think the bird wants to be in my video. Hey y'all, welcome back to Holistic Flow. I am your girl Lolo, and today I'm going to be answering the question of, do I think that having locks makes you more spiritual? There could be a hard and fast answer, but it's never really that. So I'm going to tell a little bit about my experience having locks before the journey, during the journey, and their experience based upon other people that I've consulted with that have started their lock journey, and some people who have combed out their locks, or they started them for other reasons different than I did. Right now, before I get started with the video, comment down below, do you think that locks makes you more spiritual or not? So before we get into it, if you are new here to my channel, hello. Here on Holistic Flow, we are creating a safe space, a space for self-love, self-growth, and maturity, and we're taking a journey towards an overall better mind, body, and spirit connection. So if you're with all that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notifications so you know whenever I upload a new video. After you have done that, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So first and foremost, I'll go ahead and tell my experience. For those who have been watching me for a long time on the channel, I've almost had it for maybe 3 years. I'm talking about the channel, not my journey. Even before I started my locks, I was a little bit on the spiritual side. I was more interested in the things that we can't see versus the things that we can see. But I think that having a lock journey brought it more out and embraced it a lot. For a long time, I had wanted to start locks. For a couple years, maybe 4 or 5 years, I was thinking about it. I was debating it because I would always do a lot of protective styles, and I went into it more so excited about the fact that I wouldn't have to do my hair that much. But I later found out that it was more than just a protective style. And now that I'm actually thinking about it, the word protective style, or the phrase, like whenever you're a loose natural and you do a protective style, think about what you're protecting your hair from. You are protecting it from putting your hands in your hair so much, outside elements like the harsh weather changing, the cold air. Right now it's fall season, so it's getting a little bit more cold, a little less humidity. And you're also protecting it from dry, and you're keeping the moisture in, right? But when I think of protective style, I just realized that locks are the ultimate protective style, in my opinion, because they protect your hair not only from all of those things that a protective style like braids, twists, all of those do, but they keep that protection inside because you're locking it in. That literally just thought to me. When I started my journey, I started it not really for the protection aspect. I mean, I knew that other people could experience the spiritual benefits of feeling like they were, protected spiritually by locks, but I never realized what that even meant until I went on my journey. Within the first 5 months, I started wrapping my hair a lot, and I felt more protected and at peace with myself. But at the same time, I felt a lot of opposition in the physical aspect of, what it looks like when you're in the first couple stages of locks. Because sometimes you're not going to like what you exactly see in the mirror, and that can be kind of difficult to go about everyday life with. So a lot of the times I was wearing head wraps just so that I wouldn't have to show my hair in its baby stages. And I think it was at that point that I realized my lock journey was going to help me a lot conquer the idea of vanity. It's a good thing to be confident about the way that you look physically, but when your confidence is simply based upon your physical attributes, that can be a little bit rocky, because at any time your physical attributes can change physically or manually, or whether, you know, something, an adverse event or situation in your life happens. I realized that my confidence can't be tied to my physical attributes, but I can also tie my confidence to the actual person that I am inside without any physical representation of what that is. I also realized that a lot of the times what we see or perceive the physical part of ourselves is a reflection of what is inside. So if you see yourself as just the shell, which is our body, you'll just see yourself as a shell and not a whole. You see what I'm saying? But at least this is what I realized about myself. I was just valuing the shell of myself, the physicality, the physical body, and the presentation that other people see versus what I feel or who I am. And then as I went throughout my journey, as my locks became a lot more mature, what happened on the inside, I feel like reflected on the outside. So I got to see my locks kind of blossom like a flower or like any other type of cute plant. And that made me more confident. Personally, I did become more spiritual when I went on my lock journey because I got more in tune with the wholeness of myself and made sure that is what was reflected outward. So it was like I was taking my insides and putting them outside. I like to think of it as an onion. You're slowly peeling back the layers of your outside self because our body is just the vehicle that our soul lives life through. So once you shed all the physical stuff on your body that doesn't really matter much at the end of the day, you feel more vulnerable, but you can also feel more safe. But I think for other people, there are a lot of factors that can go into it. It's your ability to heal while you're on the journey. It's your ability to understand yourself, like know thyself, your ability to release the physical representation of what other people see and not allow your confidence to be defined by the physical manifestation of what you want to portray. But when people, I feel like, see your natural beauty, what they're seeing is not what you want to portray yourself as, but what they're seeing is actually your most vulnerable self coming out from hiding. So in my opinion, there's kind of two sides that you can look at it from a standpoint of, is a lock journey going to make you more spiritual? The number one is, do you have that intention when you start your journey? Because for some people, they simply have the intention to start a lock journey only because they don't want to do their hair anymore, which is completely valid. There's no right or wrong way or reason to start a lock journey, in my opinion. Some people may not feel any type of spiritual affiliation with their hair. They may say that hair is just hair, and I think that this is not my story, but if it is, again, that's valid. So if you start with that opinion, and no, in your opinion, a lock journey may not make you more spiritual. However, for a person who is already spiritual and has a spiritual tie and an even emotional tie to their hair before starting their journey, they may perceive that a journey makes them more spiritually in tune. I feel like wherever your attention goes, your energy flows, and whatever you perceive, you will receive back from that perception. So it's whatever you bring your awareness to, whatever you're aware of, I feel like that's where you will receive the most attention from. Mainly, you can make it spiritual or not based upon what your intention actually is. On the contrary, somebody could go into the journey not even expecting anything to happen, just seeing what their hair does on its own while it forms. And later on, they can find out that all along it's been spiritual. Like all along, maybe God has led them to a place where they needed to experience a lock journey in order to help heal something within themselves. And maybe many people find out along the way that even though it may not have been your intent to have it be a spiritual connection with your higher power or yourself or however, along the way, it becomes that. I think everything that we experience in our past shapes our current perception. Sometimes we even realize that the affiliations that we were taught growing up no longer apply or are relevant to us because we've learned new truths or new things that resonate with us. And that can make us want to try new things. Rebel, so to speak. For me, it was kind of going against the norm of things, going against the grain, going against what I was used to, like smooth, sleek hair that's always properly maintained. I'm talking here about a lock journey. Somebody starting from loose natural hair to where they either put their hair in coils and braids and twists. How else do you start? Just starting with your loose natural hair and then just not doing anything with it and free forming, like any type of state of hair that you start with and it soon later on becomes locks. I think that is really a spiritual journey because you have these different stages that you go through, just like a plant. Now, if a plant just went from maybe a seed in the ground to the next day the plant was a whole tree, it may not have the same ideologies or experiences as a plant that went through years of growth to grow into that tree. Not saying that starting your locks with lock extensions or instant locks is a less valid way to lock your hair, but it's just a different experience. I may be wrong, so if I am, comment down below, let me know, hey, I had this experience too, I'm hella spiritual, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that it gave you a new perspective. If it did, thumbs up. Or if you didn't like it, thumbs down. I'm not that sensitive about it. And I'll see you in the next video. But until then, I'm sending peace your way, love your way, and joy to you, your family, and your friends. All right, y'all. Peace.